Hello everybody, this is diANtinatalist, and I'm going to talk about challenges and how much I dislike challenges in this world. I stayed up all night in order to catch an early flight because I wanted to make the best of India and see more of the sights. So, I was up at the hotel until about, 1 o'clock doing sightseeing, maybe 2 o'clock. And then I had to pack a little more, and things were, just really exhausting. And so I stayed up through the night to catch a very early flight. And there were many challenges on this trip. And this was a huge notch on my belt to come to India. And I've always wanted to come to India, like always. And I didn't even really think I would make it here, because the older I got, the more fearful I got of flying so far, and just the stress of traveling here, and the unknown and the unpredictable. And so I really stressed about coming here for a year. I planned this trip for a year, and it was nothing but worry for me to plan this trip and just anticipate the long hours in a plane, the boredom, possibly getting a cold, or just possibly struggling in so many ways, physically or mentally, to come here. And I hate challenges, and I have fears about doing new things, and sometimes it breaks me down. But one thing I will say about life, the more that you put your foot forward, the more you reach out, and you break those barriers, and you attempt to do things that you never thought you could do. You surpass another level. Some people who have phobias, like who are afraid of snakes or spiders and that kind of thing, the only way to overcome those fears is to gradually acclimate yourself to what you're afraid of. And when I was in college, I had a speech to deliver, and I was a very shy child. In fact, my second grade teacher told me that I was the shyest person in the class, believe it or not. And I think from that point on, I just wanted to overcome that, and it's been very difficult. So I was in college, and I had something to prepare. It was a speech to deliver in front of my class, and I was literally petrified. When my teacher called my name, I stared at him, and I just froze. I froze with anxiety and absolute fear. And so after the class, I told him that I couldn't deliver it. I was too afraid to speak in front of the class. And he understood, but he told me that I had to take a grade lower, which, I agreed to. And I think that was a stepping stone to some changes that, I made in order to overcome extreme fear. So when I started doing these YouTube videos, I would reflect back on my videos, and I really, really hated the way I sounded. I was so self-conscious about the way I looked, or the way I delivered the message, and I just thought it was so incompetent, and I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to, post some of my videos, but the more I did it, I actually kind of changed my viewpoint, and I actually kind of liked my voice, even though it's something I never liked before. And then I realized that I took some steps that a lot of people that do not ever take because they are fearful. And it was, I really broke some of my own boundaries. I overstepped my comfort level by doing these videos. And with coming to India, I overstepped many, many boundaries and comfort levels. This exceeded my comfort level. This trip has been very hard on me emotionally. It has just tired me out. It has exhausted me. I have been very uncomfortable physically. And right now I feel a bit dehydrated. I've been sleeping for about 5 hours on the plane. This is my little cubicle. And I have some storage. I have some storage like right here and right there. I'm too tired on the return flight to finish my movie. My movie I started was Your Honor, and it was excellent. And I got through 5 hours on the first trip, but I just don't have it in me to stay awake. And I think they're serving breakfast now, and I'm very thirsty. And but this video is, I guess just my personal feelings towards challenges. And I'm not a fan of challenges. I don't want to have discomfort and feel pain in order to acclimate myself to the next level of something. Like, I don't want to break that fear barrier and expose myself in front of a class of students to deliver a speech in order to get a better grade. I don't want to have to do that. I'm scared of spiders. I don't want to have to touch a spider or be around a spider in order to, be more comfortable around a spider. I think that's what they do to people who are really afraid of dogs. But I will say that this has completed a notch in my belt. And at this point, I actually have further goals and ambitions. During this trip, I met a fellow from Kashmir, and he has really spent a lot of time educating me towards some, parts of Kashmir and the crafts that they create, the art, the embroidery. And he's actually sold me on going to Kashmir. And I want to go to Bangkok, and that's another really, really far place. And somebody has encouraged me to go to Saudi Arabia or Dubai. So these are really, really hard trips. It takes a lot out of me. I'm fatigued. I will have a lot of recovery in store for me when I get back home. And I think my audience, I think a lot of people in my audience and a lot of people in general have fears that they just cannot conquer. And I mean, just like me when, I was like in my third year of college and just petrified over speaking in front of an audience or people. And I'm speaking in front of an audience and people, and I'm exposing myself significantly with my YouTube videos. That has been a huge step for me. It hasn't yielded any monetary gain. I'm not getting any favor. I might be a celebrity for all, for what people consider the wrong reasons, antinatalism. But, like, some of you who think I just have a natural gift of speaking or a talented or that I'm unafraid, that's altogether wrong. I am extremely afraid. I am so fearful. I mean, just almost the panic of delivering these messages, creating these messages, and waiting for the feedback or the negative backlash. I am not a natural at all. I have forced myself to do things because of activism. I want antinatalism and child freedom, ethylism, the whole gamut, promortalism, the right to die. I want, all of that to be broadcast and delivered to a worldwide audience. The only way I can deliver that to a worldwide audience is to step out of my comfort zone, and it's been a real emotional ride. It's scary as hell for me, and this trip was really, really scary. And I met some really, 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 really wonderful people who helped me. And up till the very end, I had a porter. And this man made everything happen. He got through TSA and security and customs. And, this guy was a hustler. We had to take a kilogram and a half out of one bag because it was overweight. And he didn't even have any tape. But he got really creative. And he used the sticky tape that is on the baggage slips that go under the handle of the baggage, and you can pull off paper from it, and there's a sticky part. So he was able to improvise and use that little bit of tape to seal a box that I had without even having packing tape, and this guy really made things happen. And we had not much time to go to my gate, but he stopped me by duty free, and I got a bottle of perfume that was really cool. So, I won't say that I had a lot of people who were helpful, but about 5 or 6 people were truly, truly gems, and I rewarded them. They know they made me happy, and I made them happy, and it's reciprocal. And I'm extremely tired. I'm extremely thirsty. I feel parched. This air climate is dry, and even my hands feel like dry. They did a good job on my Mindy, didn't they? I love this. I wish I could keep this forever. It looks really good with my bracelets, huh? So, I guess this video was to proclaim that I am not a natural. I have gradually progressed and accustomed myself, and I had little goals for myself that I made, and I overcame fears by crossing my comfort level and my boundaries. And it's a huge challenge. Life is a huge challenge, and I'm almost 62, and I would never repeat this journey. I feel like dishonored that I was placed into this world. I have suffered greatly. I am a sufferer. Most of you probably don't know how much I suffer. A few people do. And I'm going to do a video pretty soon about specific sufferings, and I'm taking notes on it, and I will deliver that as soon as I can recover from this trip and get over the fatigue and unpack all of my things and just process is all of the suffering that occurred on this trip, and all the complications, and missing my dog, my family at home, and this was a big shock to my system. It was truly uncomfortable, truly hard. Every day I woke up and I had to face heat and discomfort and fatigue and body pain. And alone, I don't have a travel partner on this trip. I'm not a person who's happy about life. I do have certain ambitions, and I love to travel, and I love to see things. I love the entertainment of being on a trip, and I love photography. I love dogs. I love to see the way other people live. I love foods. I have so many things that I love about life, and so many things that I hate about life. And that's what makes me very sad about eventually dying, because I will have to leave all of it behind. And the prospect of dying is just so unfair for everybody. And Sir Faraz asked me, it was a trick question that he asked me on this trip. He goes, would the best way to live a life would be that everybody was happy? And I said, yes, it would be. But I knew it was a trick question from him because then he said, no, he goes, the best way would be non-existence. But that's true, of course. But if everybody could be happy all the time, and if life had no obstacles, then hell, I'd go for that, right? If there would be no hardships or pain or death, I'd go for that. But since that's never going to be, the sum of what life is. So life is all full of hardships and loneliness and fears and frustration. I was so frustrated on this trip. It was unimaginable. I mean, I'll probably have, somewhat of a crisis or a breakdown when I get home and just come back down to, my reality at home, which is so very different from this trip. And I was here for 3 weeks. But Stefanaz was right in one respect. It's better that we were never ever born, that we never came into existence. But if it could have been perfect and it could have been happy for all of us, then who would say no to that? I wish I could go back and would love to have been not conceived, not born, miscarried, aborted, whatever. And But I only have one life. I've never had this. I've never had this challenge again, and I don't believe in the afterlife at all. Afterlife is a product of religion, and there's no afterlife, and there's no heaven or hell. We're just here, and then we die. And even if we did go to heaven or hell, this is not worth it. This journey. The suffering and heartache and unpredictability is not worth it. My parents were too selfish and too naive and too stupid to even have thought about my life. I guess I'm going to taper this this video off, and I'm going to sit up, and I need water. I need water so badly. Here's other people, and they're sleeping or watching TV, and so for people of you who think I travel and it's blissful and everything is smooth, it is far from the truth, and my life is just full of suffering, right? And Alex has been my strongest confidant. He knows everything. And we're going to do a video pretty soon in Toronto, and it should be exciting. And but there's struggles at every level and every inch of life. It doesn't matter what walk of life you are, whether you're talented, whether you're smart, whether you're whether you're pretty, whether you're youthful, whether you're popular, whether you're rich, or whether you're tall and or handsome or gifted. You're suffering in this life, and I remember Safraz and I were climbing up the stairs to this lounge in a restaurant. In my hotel, going to a restaurant, and he was describing suffering so common that he was writing down his daily sufferings in a log, and we were making light of it because life is so pathetic. And he said, it is impossible to even describe the amount of sufferings. And then I told him, I said, just climbing every stair up to this lounge is suffering for me. So there is a degree of suffering just climbing stairs, or even waiting for your glass of water. And right now, my mouth is so dry, and my lips, I'm parched, I'm uncomfortable. Flying is very uncomfortable, but I've got the best seat. I got the best seat in the house possible. This is a business class seat. And I am privileged. I do have privilege in my life. I've had privilege at many corners of my life, many aspects. And I have also had a strong degree of suffering. Many. Some people would not have overcome my degrees of suffering. And as you all know, I did not have supportive parents. Not at all. No support. No appreciation. No unconditional love from my parents. No financial support. So I kind of feel like my life was full of hardships, right? I may have had privilege along the way, and I may have privilege now. It really bothers me when people hate others who they think that who has more privilege, whether you're from a developed country versus an undeveloped country. Every soul is suffering, and just because you're wealthy doesn't mean you suffer less, and just because you're poor doesn't mean you suffer more. Being poor is very hard. I've been poor because my parents did not support me when I was young, so I was poor. Every step of the way, every life, every decade of my life is just full of suffering. And I knew that coming here would afford some kind of like magical or revelation or some kind of insight, and I really haven't processed it yet because the trip is just it has taken everything out of me physically and emotionally. I'm drained. I am just, it was so hard. The lifestyle here, the noise, the smells, the heat, the discomfort. And it's all amplified being over 60. And I don't look forward to my future. I don't look forward to getting older, except for the fact that I will be gone, or permanently gone, and no suffering, no challenges to meet, no comfort levels to penetrate. What else? I mean, weird experiences come with every vacation. I didn't post a video, I made it private, but there was a 14-year-old on a beach who wanted to F me. And he said I was beautiful and wanted to F me, and asked if I had a condom. And yeah, I have this on video. It is so bizarre. And it's just unbelievable. Life is just unbelievable. It's the experiences that I've gone through, and just a degree of suffering. April, if you're watching this, I really miss you, girl. Really, really miss you. You know a lot. A couple of Facebook friends along the way. Alex, you know a lot. You know my life. I don't even know what, I have no idea what purpose this fucking life is. It's just suffering at every angle. I mean, every minute, every hour. I'm going to be doing a video. I'm going to do a daily account of suffering, and it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of concentration. Because just like walking each flight of stairs with Surfer Oz, it is suffering. It is not joy. It is not elation. It is not euphoria. It is not pleasure. It is not orgasmic. The steps that we take, and the hunger and the thirst pains make food and water and drink enjoyable. So we have to encounter a negative in order that we enjoy the pleasures of life. So it's not that food tastes good, it's just that we are satiating hunger, and that's stressful. I mean, I just feel like the age just penetrates my soul, like it just, every decade, every year, every day, every week, every month, it is harder and harder and harder, and it's accumulative. And I don't know if it's a blessing to live longer, to have more experiences, but I do know that the fact that I am older and I've lived, more than some people have, many people have, I guess, from the future, past, from historically. I mean, I have gained insight, I have met goals, I have exceeded challenges, but the suffering is not worth it. And the cost of life, the cost of existence is a tremendous amount of suffering. And if you are enlightened, if you are aware, if you are awake, if you have any degree of sense of reality or truth, then that's your summary of life also. So I'm not glad to be here, but since I am here, I'm trying to make the best of it. And I'm really grateful for the people who have been by my side. Many, I guess, some of my Facebook friends, the names that replied to me on YouTube. April, you really meant a lot. I can't tell you how much you helped me, many years ago. Alex, you're my comfort zone. You're my rock. You're my shoulder to cry on. And I appreciate everybody who's helped me on this trip, because there's a lot of bad people. There's a lot of hurtful people, and there seems to be fewer good people. And I need to gather more of those good people. I met two, lifelong friends on this trip, Sajid and Sufraz, and I have contact with them, the Facebook friends, and I'm just truly glad for their help, because and just like the porter who really, really came through for me, he really pulled through at the end. And I gave him a tip at the beginning because I was counting the last of my rupees, and then I gave him some more money at the end, and he was really grateful. And he just was a worker. He was a worker bee. He was just made things happen. He saw a need and he made it happen. When I was struggling with my phone, he picked up the phone. He helped me put it around my neck. He actually, you can't get into the airports here without proof of your ticket. And you can't even penetrate the airport, okay? It's very different than the U.S. And so he actually ran into the airport, showed them on my phone, my phone itinerary, and they printed out a ticket for him to show the security that was outside the airport. And all along the way, he was holding my passport for me. He was holding the bags. He was talking to all the security. It's very, very hard to understand the Indian people, if not impossible. That's been a real trauma for me. Just the language barrier, the accent barrier is really, really strong with most people here. No, I think a lot of antinatalists hate people. I hate people, and I find very few in life. Like I came on this trip and there's 20 million people in Mumbai, and I encountered a handful of people along the way, but really maybe only 5 people can I say that really stood out as being helpful, and people that people that made life enjoyable. Well, I really could use some orange juice right now. I'm so parched. And a picture, you can't tell with a picture. Whenever I post pictures on Facebook or whatever, Instagram, you can't see the suffering. You can't feel the heat. You can't feel the stress of living in this environment. India, Mumbai, the crowds, just constant people, and there's always a person in front of you when you're trying to take a picture. It's either a person or a shadow or a car or a vehicle or a vendor or a beggar. I mean, taking photographs here was a challenge for me, and that's what I really love to do. And when I get back home, I have thousands of photographs to go through and process, and I haven't even gone over those photographs. I'm just snapping away, and I'll have to edit some when I get back and make like some kind of an album. But I have a lot of work in store for me, and then the reality of home life, and just being back to the grind, the chores. But I can't wait to see my dogs. So anyway, I'm off to breakfast. Thank you for watching this far, and please do not reproduce. There are a lot of people who wish they were never born.